diving into it, we have a 40-man roster. Usually it's been 35. Last year it was unlimited. This year they've tapered down to 40 with 32 on scholarship, and I think they're going to stay that way. I don't know about the foreseeable future, but next year, right? I think our roster will be at 40 and 32 on scholarship. So that's been good. There's been a lot of bad that came out of COVID, but I saw once we started realizing what was going on, and I'm like, there's going to be some good that comes out of this athletically for us. There was a time there you're wondering if college athletics, was even stable, and but I'm looking at it, and as they're adding years back or giving kids their years back, I'm like, we got some players on this team like we're going to have back in 2022 that would be gone. Like kids that are good players, pitchers. So that was one thing. I think another thing, there's some guys that went through that are still in the program. We have a bunch of guys that went through that if they had taken anything for granted, I think it caused them to kind of cherish their time. You have a small window to play college athletics. I think some guys really cherished their time when it was taken away. So it was good to see some people. We had some players really mature and having to go through the adversity of that scenario. But I think our program benefited in a lot of ways because of it, and I'm going to go over some of the aspects or the facets of the team, and I'll take questions afterwards. But like I said, we have a 40-man roster right now. I don't know how many pitchers we have, Brad. 20 pitchers, so 20 and 20. And to start, baseball teams start and stop on the mound in defense. So I'll start right there from a pitching standpoint. We played 58 games last year, and we were a couple innings away from going to Austin, Texas for a super regional, which still burns. But we returned 57 of those 58 games that our starters made. Andy Arguelles is the only kid that made a start last year that is not back. So Miles Smith, Jeremy Lee, Matt Boswell, Tyler Learman, Jackson Boyd, JoJo Booker, all those guys are back. So what we lost, the hole that we have to fill, was Tyler Semeniego, who's with the Pittsburgh Pirates, Jay Staulton, who's pitching in independent professional league, and Tyler Perez, who graduated, who's with us as a grad assistant. It was right at 101 innings and right at a 180 batting average against and right at a 2.2 ERA. So it was pretty damn good. That's a pretty big hole. It was right at 18 to 20% of our innings. So we have all of our starters back. We've got to fill at the end. But as I stand here tonight, last year, obviously you hope you have enough pitching, but Tyler Semeniego, who will pitch in the big leagues, he wasn't what he was until he became who he is. Did you get that on camera? He really will make a t-shirt and sell it. But what I'm saying is, Tyler Semeniego was great for us last year. But as I stood here, at this point of the year, last year, I had no clue. I was hoping he was going to throw strikes, to be honest with you. He had a big arm, but he was 88, 92. He wasn't throwing 95, 96, 97, 98 at the end of the year. So that's probably Tyler Semeniego right there. So I did 2 throw strikes. But then the season, you can't see who a player is, or you don't know who a team is until you play someone else. And you play other teams several times. You start to see who's who, and guys start to, the cream rises to the top. So we lost some of those guys that were very, very valuable for us out of the bullpen. Jay Staulton, we had an idea he was going to be pretty good. I didn't know he was going to be as good as he was last year. And then Tyler Perez really came on for us. So this year, we're deeper, but I can sit here and tell you there's 4 or 5 guys right now that at the end of the game, innings 7, 8, and 9, that are 90 to 93, 90, 92, 93 miles an hour. If you've come out to watch a scrimmage, and I know some of you have, you see on the scoreboard, you see 91, 92, 93. There's 4 or 5 guys at the end of a game that it's just like that, with 2 or 3 pitches and that have experience and they're ready to go. Colin Brome, Zach Harlan. We've got Grant Wood. Who else? Austin Mills. Walker Johnson. So there's 5 right there. You know, do I know who the last 3 outs are? I don't know yet. That was probably going to be Sam Knowlton. He had some arm surgery. He's going to miss this year. He'll be back last year. That was the big boy throwing 97 last year. But I do know your bullpen doesn't matter if you don't have good starters. So starting with our number 1, which was Miles Smith. Miles wasn't Miles until he became Miles last year, and I said it again. That's the only way I can explain it. It's the only way I can explain it. And Jeremy Lee, who was a freshman All-American, he started as, he didn't start as our Friday guy, but he had a great start against Southern Miss, and then he became our Friday night guy. Now, Jeremy Lee, who was a freshman All-American, remember, he missed the last month of the year. He had a forearm strain. So he took some time off. He's good. If any of you guys have been out and you've seen him throw, it was 90 to 95 last week, and he's got a good slider. His curveball is still there, and he's got a changeup now. So he's got 4 pitches, but we're going to, kind of judiciously use him early. It's going to be 45 pitches, 3 innings, 45 pitches for 3 weeks with him. So you guys will see Jeremy coming out of the bullpen. If the game is tight on Friday, kind of the way I used Miles last year. If the game is tight on Friday, you'll see Jeremy. If the game's not tight, you'll probably see him when the game's tight. If it's tight on Saturday, that's when you'll see Jeremy come in. And then possibly by week 4, he'll make his first start. We'll see. If we're rolling along, and we're getting it done the way we're doing it, far be it for me to upset the apple cart. So I might want to keep it the way it is, but that's the plan with Jeremy Lee. You got Boswell, who's back and better than what he was. JoJo Booker, I think it's his 11th year in the program. He's back. I look up, I'm like, damn, JoJo, how long have you been here? And then Tyler Learman, who did both, the lefty. He's the one losing his mind when we score a run and he's squirting the squirt bottle everywhere. He loses his mind in the dugout. But every team's got to have one. I love him. He brings the best energy. He's awesome. His velocity's up a tick. He's was great for us last year, and he was 82 to 86, and he's now 85 to 90. He's better than what he was. Jackson Boyd, the Australian who missed some time with the knee injury last year, or coming off a knee injury, and then tweaked it against Jacksonville State. Still had a great year, 40 innings and like a 2.6 ERA. He was phenomenal. He's back and he's better. So it'll be. Who fills in from I'd say the last, 6 to 9 outs. Really, I'll be honest with you. Last 3 to 9 outs. That's where the rubber meets the road. That's where, you get the automatic bids when you have that guy that can come in, or you have a couple guys that come in and close games. I think we have kids with the talent to do it. I told you, this weekend we'll run out Miles on Friday, Boswell on Saturday, Booker on Sunday. There's some years I've been in here, it's like, Johnson Friday, TBA, don't know Sunday. I might throw those out. So I can tell you guys what our rotation is. I won't go through 20 pitchers, but I like what I've seen. And Coach Phillips does a phenomenal job. He was coming off, pitching coach of the year in the state of Alabama, or assistant coach of the year in Division I baseball, and does an absolutely phenomenal job with our pitching staff. They get better. They love them. Defensively, again, in Coach Luck's absence, I think we finished 13th in the country in team defense last year, which is a trademark of ours. That's something we take very, very seriously. Our defense and pitching, and last year was no different. Coach Luck does a phenomenal job with our infielders and overall team defense. There will be some familiar faces in the infield. Santi Montiel, our shortstop, is back, career 900 or 970 fielder, which is absolutely phenomenal. Cameron Tissue is back. He did a great job playing third for us last year. Landon Jordan, a transfer from Mississippi State, is in. He's at third base as well and has been phenomenal for us. Noah Bailey is back. At second base, we have some guys that float around. Brandon Auerbach is back. Eric Orbeta, a new player, left-handed hitter from Miami-Dade Community College. He was one of the best, 5 or 10 hitters in the state of Florida last year, and we were fortunate enough to get him. Mags did a great job of staying on the kid all year long. Hunter Stokes, Hunter Stokes played a little bit in 13 at first base. He played a lot at second, but he played a little bit at first. And I'm like, if we can ever move him over, he'll be the best first baseman in the league or anyone we play. Well, Stokes is now, again, he's like Booker. He's in his 11th year in the program. He is sliding over to first base. Now, he still gets work at second base. But to me, you can't have a good defense unless you are good everywhere in the infield. The catchers, a lot of familiar faces. Reed Powers, the only one we lost was Richard Sereni. You got Reed Powers. Diego Altamirano is a new guy, a junior college kid, left-handed hitting catcher. Carter Sanford, left-handed hitting catcher. Harrison Ware, left-handed hitting catcher. So we have 4 catchers right now. 3 of them are left-handed hitting catchers, and then you got Reed Powers. Reed's been in the program the longest, and if we were playing tonight, Reed would start behind the plate tonight. So I love our depth. Those kids have worked extremely hard. You can't have a good pitching staff without good catchers, and I think we have an outstanding catching core. You'll probably see, on opening day, you'll see 2 freshmen out there starting in the outfield. And I'm okay with that. I mean, they're as good as I've had in the outfield. Again, they'll take their lumps like all freshmen do, but they're not the average-looking freshmen, either one of them. When you come out, you'll see what I'm talking about. One will be in center, the other one will be in left, and they're different-looking kids. The future is bright for them for sure. We were fortunate enough to get 2 of those kids. One was first-team All-Big Ten from Purdue, Miles Symington. You can't miss him. He's like a muscle with a hat on. That's what he looks like. Yeah, he's like a little knot with a hat. So he'll play right field. Had a great career at Purdue. Really, he had the COVID year, and then again COVID kind of coming into play here. Fantastic kid. He's fit right in. When you have great people and good players, man, let's go. Line them up. We're ready to go. And we do. I have great people around me, a great staff, great support staff. And I think we have a great group of players. We really do. Like I said, there'll be holes and some weaknesses like everyone else has, but our kids are tough. They're weathered. They're hard-nosed. They've been around the block. We have a bunch of guys that have been around the block in college baseball a bunch. The problem is some of these kids, they get in and they get surprised by a lot. When you have a bunch of new players, even small things surprise them. We have some guys that they're not going to get surprised by certain things that would surprise a younger kid or a first-year player. I want to say thank you to all of you. I'm a member of the Dugout Club. I believe in it, and it, like Dr. Urban said early, every dollar goes to baseball. Every single dollar goes to baseball. And we will do our darndest to put it to good use. We really will. It's everything. It's all about our players. They're the most important resource we have, and it's all about making their time here the best that we can make it, and that's what we try to do for them. So I appreciate your help, and I'm so happy that we can all get back together again and meet in person, and look forward to seeing you guys out at the ballpark. Thank you very much.